Hi all, this is Santosh Kumar Nair. Hope you are all safe and doing well. The primary agenda of this video is to configure EVNG on Google Cloud Platform (GCP). Google Cloud Platform is a very cheap and cost-effective solution for doing lab and training nowadays. At the end of this session, we will have EVNG up and running on Google Cloud Platform. For the beginners, EVNG and unetlab are free simulators. It is very useful for doing training and doing labs. But most of the time, if we are configuring EVNG on our own hardware, it is resource intensive and high cost is involved to implement EVNG on our own hardware. To overcome this, there are many cost-effective cloud-based rentals. We are going to set up our own lab on EVNG, and this will be hosted on Google Cloud Platform. This is a very cost-effective solution, if not the cheapest. GCP is providing $300 credit with 90 days timeline. If we are shutting down the VM on the Google Cloud after doing the lab, we can use this credit for long. There are many documentation already available on internet, including the official EVNG documentation. Hope this video will also be helpful for you in configuring EVNG in GCP. Major milestones on configuring EVNG are: first, we have to register on a Google Cloud Platform. We should have an account on a Google Cloud Platform. Once we have an account, we will get a free credit of $300, 90 days. Then we have to configure a VM. On that VM, we have to install the EVNG. Once the EVNG is installed enough, we follow the same procedure that we do on our machines. Upload the images for the devices that we want to do the lab. So this can be done either through SCP Client, or if it is directly on the internet, we can do it using Wget command also. And finally, we will set up a basic lab and just start all the devices to show that it is working fine on Google Cloud. So let's get started. So first we will search for Google Cloud Platform. It will take us to the Google Cloud Platform console. If we have an account free and it is the initial login that we are doing, it will show us this page. We can select agree and continue. And then click on try for free. Once you click on try for free, it will ask us for entering our basic details. Once we have the basic details entered, we can continue to build a VM on the Google Cloud Platform. Our primary intention is to create a VM that can support virtualization. That is to say, that can run virtual OS like router, switch, firewall, etc. EVNG does the virtualization of the network devices or acts as a simulator. In order to do that, we need to configure virtual nested images like EVNG OS. Google Cloud Platform supports that. So for supporting that, we will first go to compute engine, and from there to the VM instance. This will take a few minutes. I will pause the recording till then. So summarizing the steps that we have done till now, we opened an account in Google Cloud Platform. We registered with our basic details, payment details, and we got a $300 credit for 90 days. After that, we have to enable virtualization, the support of virtualization on our virtual machine. So for that, we clicked on compute engine, VM instances. It is taking some time for the VM instance to get ready. So once we see the screen, click on activate cloud shell. This will also take some time for provisioning the resources for cloud shell. After that, we have a big command that we see on the screen. This is command is available on the evng documentation. This command is basically to have a Ubuntu virtual nested image on Google Cloud. Okay, so for that, we copy this command. So we will copy paste this command, press enter. It will pop up for authorization. Again, it will take some time for provisioning the Ubuntu virtual nested image. This command is available readily on the evng documentation. I have put this command on the video chat as well. We have to wait till it shows ready. It will take a couple of minutes for that. I will again summarize what we have done till now. So we registered on the Google Cloud Platform, giving our basic details and payment details. We activated the free $300 credit, and after that we enable the virtualization uh, on the OS image. So for that we went to compute images, VM instances, and clicked on activate shell. After that we copy pasted this command for activating the Ubuntu virtual nested image. Now it is showing as ready. So our next step would be to create the virtual instance. Okay, so we are going to load evng. So we'll name the VM instance as evng VM01. Should be in smaller case. Next we have to select the region, and the zone region should be nearest to our place. But if we are changing this might change the hourly charges as well. For this video I am keeping it as whatever is the default. After that we have to come and select the CPU, memory, etc. So we will just first check what all we have here. So for virtualization support we require either Cascade Lake CPU or Skylake CPU. Okay, so we will select as N2 for time being. We already have 8 GB. Some specifications are already there, so we can select as I want 32 GB and 8 core processor. So I will select this one. This will cost me 0.331 per hour when the VM is switched on. Now to the storage part, we'll come the storage here, we'll change, click on change, come to custom images. In the custom images we have to select the image that we have prepared just few minutes back. So it will be, first of all select the project and then select the disk. First of all select the, so the image that we had created was part of my first project and not the UNG project. That should be fine. So we will just select the image that we had created with the command. Okay, and then we can select the boot image, like boot disk type. Boot disk type, there are three types of disk that are available on GCP. One is balanced, that is the slowest, and then we have standard, disk medium, and then we have SSD, which is the fastest. So we will select SSD, and we will, like at the minimum we will require 100 GB for timing. We can select more also, but that will increase the charges per hour. Next we will mention as we want to allow only HTTPS or HTTP access. Okay, so we will take both, and then we'll click on create. So this will create the virtual machine for us on Google Cloud. This virtual machine is supporting virtual nested images. For us particularly, we are using Ubuntu virtual nested image, and the OS is getting installed, the VM is getting ready. We'll wait for some time. Okay, so now the VM is ready. So we need to, first of all, we need to SSH. Okay, so now we are on the VM that we have created, and it is a Ubuntu virtual nested image. So our VM is ready now. Next, we have to install the evng on this Ubuntu virtual nested image. Okay, so for that we again have to give a command. That command is already available on the evng documentation. To issue that command, we have to become the root, and to elevate ourselves to the root, we have to give sudo -i. Okay, so this is from the documentation. Just type it. So now it will install the evng on the Ubuntu OS. It will take some time, and we will get our command prompt back after that. So we will again summarize what we have done till now. Step 1 was to register on GCP and create a VM that supports virtualization. In our specific case, it is a Ubuntu virtual nested image. We have a command for that. First, issue the command for supporting the Ubuntu virtual image nested image, and then create a VM instance. Once the VM instance is created, we install the second step is to install the evng on the OS. For that, first of all, we issue sudo -i to become root, and after that, apply the command for installing the evng software. Okay, so now we are at end of it. Just pick, we have got our command prompt back. Next, we will just on the OS part, we will just check whether all the packages are up to date. For that, we will just give apt update. This is also as per the documentation on evng, and then we have some packages, so we will just give it as apt upgrade. It is updating on the software's latest version. Once this is done, we will just reboot. For rebooting, the command is Linux is shutdown. Okay. So our second step is completed. We have installed evng on Google Cloud VM. So once the OS is rebooted, it will come on the evng screen. So here we have to give the root password. But before we give the root password, we have to become the root. Okay, so for that we will press Control C, where we get the command prompt of the base OS, and on that we will give sudo -i. Now we have become the root. Now we can change the password. Okay, so we can give a password whatever we like. We can give a host name for this OS, give a DNS, DHCP. We can give, if we want a NTP, specific NTP server. As of now, I'm keeping everything to default. We have a direct internet connection on this VM. So while this is getting ready, one more part that sometime we require, sometime we do not require, is doing some firewall changes. Okay. So for doing the firewall changes, click on Google Cloud Platform, go to VPC networks, and from there to firewall. So we have come under VPC networks, firewalls. We have to create two rules, for one for inbound access and one for outbound access. For inbound access, we have to allow ports from 32,000 to 65535. That is entire port range from 32,000. And for outbound access, we have to allow from 4,000 to 65535, the entire port range. This is well documented in the EVNG documentation. So for that, we will just go and create a rule. First, for the inbound access, outside access in, you do not have to start logging. We can change the priority if you want. This is the ingress. Allow, we have to, for all instances, VM instances, we have to select the IP range. Will be, if you want specific IP, you can put your public IP. If your public IP is not static, you can give the entire internet IP range. Then either you can allow all, or you can give the specific for more security. For inbound access, we require 32,000 to 65565. Okay, so we are creating an inbound access. So if you want, we can change the priority. We allow, we give the action as allow, and we select the target as all VM instances in this particular network. We give the source IP range. If we have the specific IP, we can give the specific public IP. If we don't have the specific public IP, we give the entire IP range, that is 0.0.0/0. And then we can allow all access, or we can allow specific access that the VM requires. For the EVNG to work, to connect to the uh, network devices in the topology, we have to have ports 32,000 to 65535 to create. Same is for inbound access. We'll give a priority. This is for egress. The target will be all instances. IP range, again we are giving 0.0.0/0. Either we can allow all the ports, or the recommended port for EVNG is 4,000 to 65535. So we have the two ports. We can access it through HTTPS and start configuring the EVNG part. So here the IP address is 35.226.153.21. Great. Admin, and default password is E. So now we are into the EVNG. Okay. Next, we have to upload the images or the topology that we want to create. So for that, we have to upload the images of the. Great. So now we have our EVNG up. We are able to access it from the browser. The next step, what is our next step? So we have completed registering GCP, we have configured the VM instance which supports virtualization, and after that we have installed the evng. The evng has come up. The third step is to upload the images to the evng from our machine or directly from internet. Now for doing it, we require either a SCP client if we are doing it from our machine. If we are doing directly from internet URL, we can use Wget also. So for this particular video, we will use the SCP client. Okay, so let's open WinSCP. Okay, and then we will go to click SCP and the IP address of our VM. It is 35.226.153.21. Username is root, password is EU. Login. And once we have logged in, we have to go to opt/opt unetlab add-ons and upload the images to the queue. So for test purpose, we can upload a Linux tiny core. And we can install the iOS image. Okay, so this is how we upload the images to the event. Our next step is to configure the lab on evng. So for that, before that, we have to fix the permission on evng. For that, we have to go to the same folder on the SSH client and issue UNL wrapper -a fix permission. First of all, add-ons slash wrapper UNL wrapper -a fix permissions. So once our topology is ready, our network topology is ready for on evng. What will be our next step? Next step is to start all the devices and start doing lab. So for that, we'll access the URL, access the topology, and then start all the devices. Color has changed, it is coming up. We'll click on it. We should get it on a secure CRT. Okay. Similarly, if you want to access the Linux code, we will get it. So these will sometimes might require the ports to be opened. That is where we have added the firewall rules. Okay. So this concludes our session. Again, we will just summarize what we have done in this session. First of all, we registered in GCP with basic credentials and payment details. After that, we activated our free account. Then we issued this particular command for supporting virtualization on the Ubuntu image. Once the image was created, we created the VM instance, and once the VM was up, we went to the second step, that is installing the evng. Once evng was up, we updated the softwares and rebooted the OS. In between, we added two firewall rules. One is for inbound access and outbound access. Once the evng was up, we uploaded the images for required for the network devices, and we went to the fourth step, set up the lab, whichever lab we want to set up with the basic devices. And then to the fifth step, we started all the devices, and after that we can start doing lab. So this concludes our session. Hope this was very helpful for you in setting up evng on Google Cloud Platform, which will be a very cheaper solution if you are doing lab for CCI or SD-WAN. If you have any queries or any comments, please do inform. I will try my best to reply to it. If you want any further sessions, please do inform. Thank you everybody, and keep yourself safe.